So, what is the finest way to start a foreign trip? Well, clearly, a little bit of sightseeing before we go. And if you look outside the car, the site that we are currently seeing is the M25 in Hertfordshire in its natural state, which is bunged up. Apparently there's a prang ahead of us and we are unlikely to move for some time. You will note the calm, balanced and mellow demeanour being displayed in what could be such traumatic circumstances. And that's because we set off very early, didn't we? Yes, we did. And so I've got hours, and if I end up sitting here for 2 of them, 3 of them, 4 of them, 5 of them, no shot, no sweat. And so where are we going? We are going to the Lone Star State. We're heading for Texas. And when I get there, I'm staying overnight in a hotel at the airport, and the following morning I will hopefully have delivered to the front door a V8, probably a Ford Mustang. Apparently it's not a very good V8 because it's based upon a Mondeo chassis, but I'm not hiring a 66 Mustang. That would be insane. I'd like to, I don't have that money. And then I'm going to just tour. I haven't got the faintest idea where I'm going to go for 2 weeks. I haven't got the foggiest idea what I'm going to see. I'm going to aim for the coast for the first couple of days, and then I'm going to head in, loop through Austin, and I want to see the Alamo. I want to see some weird towns. I want to see ghost towns. I want to see desert. I want to see mountains. And sitting in the bag, which is the regulation sized hand luggage only bag, which is all I'm taking, because I think they sell pants, socks and t-shirts in the States, is a drone and stuff, and 2 pairs of pants, 2 pairs of socks, 2 t-shirts and a toothbrush. And I'm going to make films, which hopefully will be a giggle, and you'll hopefully enjoy them, and hopefully my skill set in making these films will continue to improve. On the subject of it, whilst I'm sitting here with bugger all else to do, looking at the scenery go by on the other lane, I will be qualified, hopefully, if I pass the tests, as a commercial drone pilot a week after I return. And at that point, that opens some interesting doors, because I can then film stuff that hobbyists can't do. And bearing in mind I don't have a financial constraint demanding that I earn money doing drone footage, that's got potential to A, make some good movies, and B, maybe even start getting a little bit of payment coming in. That could be quite fun. That's the aim, I suppose, in the long term. Just a quickie, if you're watching this, you've already found it on YouTube, so I don't need to tell you the name of the site, or the channel, which is Trumm Productions. But what I do need to tell you is why it's called Trumm Productions. I had an Uncle Len, and he was a great guy, and he comes from a part of the family who just had appalling luck. I've still got one cousin left, cousin Lucy, up in Scotland. Love her, stroppy, but then I'm not necessarily in a place to throw stones in that particular greenhouse. But we love her anyway. And her brother Matthew died in a bike crash. I've still got his guitar, that will never get sold. Again, tragic loss. They lost their dad. You know, he'd been unwell for years. They lost their mum very early on in their lives, and they were largely in the care of Len and his wife. They're maternal grandfather. And Len made films, and I remember as a kid seeing one of his films on the telly with the BBC, and it said at the end of it, Trumm Productions. So whilst it may be a little bit grand for what I'm actually doing, it's intended as a nod to Uncle Len, because he gave a lot. He was a great guy, a really good man, and it's really just a little nod to him that I've named Trumm Productions. So I'll cut it loose here, get rid, because there's nothing much for you to see other than me wittering on. And me and the bear are going to be making films and turning up quite a lot going forwards. Last thing I want to say, I've not been out and about a lot. Financially, I've been stuffed. But much more importantly, I've not had anything positive to say. It's all been negative, it's all been angry, it's all been bitter and twisted. And I am likely to be bitter and twisted a while. But that's likely to fade fairly quickly. The bigger I fill up the fun box, the stuff in the rubbish box gets emptied. Or at least buried by the stuff that's getting piled on top. So for those of you that have had to deal with my attitude over the last few years, I apologise. I would invite you to walk in my shoes and see how you do. But for the future, it should be a much more positive range of experiences. And for that, and with that, bye for now.